The topic that we're going to be talking about is social entrepreneuring. I won't waste too much of your time simply because we only have 20 minutes to talk about this topic. So I'll first start off with just having the people that I have around here in this conference space introduce themselves. And let's first start off with the lady, Willemijn Verloop.
Hi, Sebastiaan. So I'll introduce myself shortly. My name is Willemijn Verloop. I'm the founder of Social Enterprise NL, the first national platform in the Netherlands for social enterprises, and we really want to boost the sector in this country since we're way behind in the world on this topic.
Next one up is the youngster of the group, Aart van Veller.
Hello, my name is Aart van Veller. I'm a sustainable entrepreneur. Founded a few companies in the field of clean tech and consultancy that all try to accelerate the transition to a sustainable economy. Thank you.
And Jan Bloemendal.
Yeah, I'm Jan Bloemendal. I'm a professor at the University of Applied Sciences of Amsterdam, and I specialize in this topic, social entrepreneurship.
Great, and last but not least, Miquel, Ballester, Salva. Oh, supposedly your mic is out, so we'll get back to you later. Let me just first start off with the first question. Albert, could you just simply explain to me what social entrepreneuring is?
That's a very good question. What it is? Well, this morning I was watching again at a very interesting interview with Michael Porter about shared value, and I think Porter, well, more or less gets it. It's what Willemijn calls impact first. So you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to do something for society, and with doing something for society, that's where you earn your money. I think that's.
And is it born from profit or idealism?
Both.
But social impact is most important for social entrepreneurs. That's their main aim, that they use a business model to achieve this, and if they can't create economic value, they can't run a business. So you need to excel in both.
Yeah, exactly. So if you earn money, you make it sustainable what you're doing. I think that's the main thing about it. So earning money, doing something socially good, and then earning money by doing that.
All right. Okay, but then if we're not talking about the reason behind it, Willemijn, could you then answer what would be the reason to social engineer or entrepreneur?
Well, for me, the importance is that it creates social innovation, and we're in need for a lot of social innovation to tackle the challenges we have ahead of us in this world, on people and planet issues. And entrepreneurs are the gutsy people that are willing to take risks and invest money in fields where others would never invest money, and develop new ways of solving social issues. So for me, it's about innovation. And if you look at the Dutch context in the Netherlands, it's also about trying to where the government is now pulling back, we will need a lot of social entrepreneurs to help create a solid social founding for all the elements where the government will no longer be able to provide. So we need social entrepreneurs there and not commercial entrepreneurs.
Well, Aart, you are one of the 100 most influential, I guess, sustainable Dutchies, if I might call it that way. What is your experience, though, with the funding or the subsidizing of the government? Are they totally lacking, or is there also a switch there?
Well, I think the government is seriously lacking behind, and I think more and more big and small companies are seeing sustainability not longer as something for the grey wool sock or something that is very costly, but more and more as something that is a business opportunity. And I think that's the only way in which sustainability can go mainstream and can really accelerate into a sustainable business model as well. Because if there's no sustainable business model behind a business, it is not a sustainable business. Yeah, that's how I look at this thing. And then to reflect also on the first question, what is a social enterprise? What is the difference between a commercial enterprise and a social enterprise? I think in the old economy we used to have for-profit companies where there was only profit. Profit was the only thing that was the goal or the mission. Sure. And we had the charities, and there was only the impact. And I think the social enterprise is just sitting in the middle, where there is impact first, as Willemijn also quotes it.
But if I understand what Willemijn is saying, it's actually sort of similar. In a way, you're still also going towards profit simply because that's the only way you can survive. Miquel, do you?
Absolutely. So profit is necessary to survive. It's the blood of the company, but it's not the goal, or it's not the aim.
Right, but Miquel, because when you're in the fair phone trade, so you're trying to make sure that, for instance, in certain African countries, things are more evenly divided, I guess. Do you agree with what just was said, or are you actually more from a sort of idealistic point of view?
Well, I think for us, what is important is that, because we have been a foundation for quite some time, a campaign, and for us now becoming a company, a social entrepreneur, it really gives you different tools for getting to your mission. So when we sit with partners on the table, we are not a charity anymore, but we are another partner in a different position, more in a business position, and that gives you new tools. And for us, making the phone itself is the strategy to get to our vision.
Okay, then actually, Willemijn, I may have a question for you, because even though you still look young and beautiful, you've been in this, actually in trying to make sure that we all add our pieces so it becomes a better world. You've been in that business for almost 20 years. Did you see huge changes throughout the years? And are we sort of getting in a new time period where things are different?
Yes, I've seen many changes, that the world has changed so fast. I mean, I was in the charity world for 15 years. I founded Warchild, and which is a traditional NGO, has innovative aspects in it, but is not a social enterprise. But we have learned a lot in developmental aid and how to work and be effective in third world countries in support, and how to find a more equal way of supporting business opportunities. And if I look at the changes, I think we've realized that we are really in need of different solutions for the scale of problems that we're facing, and that neither the charity world nor the business world is actually coming up with a coherent solution right now, nor our governments. So we need entrepreneurial thinking and businesses, strong businesses, to create these new solutions and to bring to change the economy we're in. So I could argument from many perspectives why this is necessary, but I've seen it happening. If you look in countries like India, Brazil, there's many thousands of social entrepreneurs active and being very successful. And it's just if we look at the Netherlands, we've just been very spoiled with a lot of subsidy and government involvement in all aspects of social life. And I think in the Western world, there's a lot of knowledge, there's a lot of entrepreneurialism, but we need to try and focus that on the social field, not just on technology, but also on social innovation. And I think that's a push we need to follow. And this is reverse engineering. We're learning from what's happening in Brazil or India. So we just need to follow suit and create more social innovation. So
Albert, what would happen if we wouldn't be social entrepreneuring?
What would happen?
Yeah.
Well, if you see how government is pulling back right now in the Netherlands, I think it would be well, how do you call it, a wasteland, something like that. But I think if I look at my students, there are so many opportunities, and that's what Willemijn is saying. It's changing so fast. When I was teaching 3 to 4 years ago, and I was saying, well, let's earn some money by doing social things. They more or less put me out of the classroom. And now they're all like, yeah, it's changing really fast. And that's maybe the most exciting thing about it.
But it's interesting because the way you guys are talking about, you're actually just talking about entrepreneuring. Just in 2012, it just means that you also have to think about the planet and people and consequences. But in the essence, it's just entrepreneuring.
No, I think no. The main difference is, if you talk about CSR, you talk about a business that is primarily focused on earning money, but not creating damage for people or planet. That's CSR or MVO. In these businesses, we're talking about businesses that want to change the world, that have a social impact as their main mission, and they make money with the services or products they develop, which makes them sustainable, which makes them independent of subsidies. Yeah. So it's a different business. It could be similar business models, but it's a totally different drive behind it.
You got professionals with a completely different toolbox. When you look at classic entrepreneurs, they don't understand social questions. They don't understand things like social work or co-creating or all those kind of topics
Right.
They only think about earning money, and well, that's what they do.
Okay, I understand. So,
can I add something to that? It's also, I mean, these, like Michael Porter was quoted by Albert Young in the beginning of our talk, who talks about shared value, but Michael Porter also talks about the social enterprises being the co-developers, the lead group that actually are developing the innovations we need. And of course, big corporations will adapt and could bring this to huge scale. But these social enterprises are the front runners. They're developing the new ideas, and I think that's how they're perceived, and that's why they're so important. They won't be the biggest sector in the world, but they will help create these new solutions and hopefully tag along many corporates in helping to scale these models.
Exactly, yeah.
okay, Art, you've started, I'm not really sure how many years you started ago, but what are the mistakes that one can make, or what is sort of a direct route, if there is any, to success? Well, let's first start off with the mistakes. What is one of the most well-known mistakes you make as a starting social entrepreneur?
That's a good question. There are many mistakes.
Well, let's
thousands. So like being an entrepreneur is like waking up in the morning and having a vision of what the day will bring you, and like 9 out of the 10 things you envisioned don't work as you wished for. So you're constantly trying to solve problems as an entrepreneur and trying to create something what isn't there, right? Yeah. So the challenge is to get people on board that believe in your vision or in your work, and get them motivated but
that goes for any business, though. Is there?
Of course. So there's no change in a normal business or in a social business, except for the fact that the social business or the social enterprise has a meaningful kind of mission or a meaningful goal, right? So I think the mistakes I made, well, I don't know where to start, you know, like but that's not a bad thing. That is, you learn by doing, and that's what entrepreneurs do. Maybe one of the mistakes is having a very big ambition and telling it to your employees who just start and believe that you can make it happen in a very short time period. Right. And being very motivated to do it, but then, you know, after a while you notice, okay, this maybe was a little bit too ambitious, and then again setting the same ambition again. And I believe it is very good to set high ambitions, but I also learned in the last 5 years, was 5 years ago I think I started, that it's good to be ambitious, but it's also good to set tangible goals that are at some point reachable, you know, that are possible to reach. So yeah.
Miquel, yes.
Yeah, I keep talking, sorry. I think maybe Miquel, we researched together with McKinsey what the main barriers are for social entrepreneurs for growth. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the barriers is that they grow slower than regular business because they're focusing not just on financial impact, but also mainly on social impact, which makes it a slower growing business. It's more difficult for them to find money because if you aren't able to give a double dividend return on your investors, it's more difficult to find investors.
Sure.
So it's difficult to find entrepreneurial talent. Most people are very idealistically motivated, but also need people that can just scale business. So it's about bringing talent. It's about education. We don't have universities or like the Hogeschool of Amsterdam is teaching this, but it's not a main topic yet in any of our education institutes in the Netherlands yet. So really there are a few barriers to bring the sector, to make it bigger, and these are barriers every individual entrepreneur encounters. I think Miquel will probably recognize this because the Fairphone is a brilliant concept. And you would think it's something like that,
I would love
still
to
immediately.
I completely agree with Art, what he says about promising too much, but not only with your employees, but also with your customers. Because if you promise too much but you don't deliver, then you are also killed as a brand, which is also very important. And what you're actually selling is the vision, but it has to be fulfilled. And I also very much agree with the part on the education. I've been educated as an industrial designer, but I have never been educated on all the consequences that consumer products have in our world. And that's something I'm now actually learning with Fairphone. So yeah.
Can I add one more thing, which was one of the biggest mistakes? Well, think of it, and was not following your own intuition. So that's maybe also a basic mistake in the normal business. But sometimes you just feel that it doesn't. It's not right to make this business deal, or it's not right to keep hiring the employee, or to well, there are many topics where you can feel that it's not right, and you still keep on doing it because you think, okay, you know, if I just keep on doing it for a little while, it will improve, or it will be good, and it always.
I think you shouldn't be afraid of failing. Also, if you fail fast, then you have still time to make it better. So learning from your failures is also very important.
But then, okay, so then let's talk about the climate that we're in right now. Because if you want to start your own business, even though it has the necessity, and there are actually quite a few examples by now that show you that social entrepreneuring can also be successful, and you don't have to be ashamed about the fact that you are actually successful because you're combining a lot of good things. What is in general the response? What is the climate like? Do you still get written off as an idealist, or are people more open to it?
I think. Yeah, you go.
There's even some. Sorry, Miquel, you go.
Yeah. No, you can go. You can go.
Okay, I decide. Willemijn, go for it.
We have now 100 social entrepreneurs on our platform, and we hear from a lot of them that there's, especially in the Netherlands, some skepticism, that people are skeptical if you're trying to change the world within a BV structure. Like people are thinking you're trying to make money over the backs of vulnerable people, our planet. So we are in a bit of a Calvinistic culture in the Netherlands, where we don't immediately want to support this, or want to make sure that nobody is trying to enrich themselves. And I think that's not a climate that's helping social entrepreneurs at this point. I think we really should recognize the importance of these entrepreneurial people.
Ik ga even meeluisteren. Wat er gebeurt is, ik zet nu mijn microfoon open, iedereen valt stil. Ja, hier is Aart van vanuit de talkshow. Ik zie dat mensen hun mond open doen. Sorry dat ik zo bruut onderbreek, maar ik was benieuwd, Sebastiaan. Jij zit daar met een grieperig hoofd, heb ik me laten vertellen. Hoe gaat het daar in Google Hangouts?
Nou, het gaat eigenlijk hartstikke goed. We zijn even over aan het praten over social entrepreneuring. Hoe het verstaat, de noodzaak daarvan, hoe het in deze tijd daadwerkelijk tot stand komt. Ja of de nee. En dit allemaal eigenlijk de informatie. Ik heb fantastische 4 sprekers die hier veel kennis over etaleren. Dus ik zou zeggen, luister rustig mee. Just to continue what we're talking about, the last thing that we were talking about. Actually, just to come back to Albert, is this one of the things that you, what do you teach your students, as in what they can expect future-wise, climate-wise, how they should go about it?
Right now, students are very entrepreneurial themselves right now. What I see a lot of students who are doing all kind of things. Sometimes they jump into things without even thinking about the business model or whatever. And right now I'm talking to 2 girls who are doing Krijg de kleren. It's called. It's a big maybe Willemijn.
Should I translate? Yeah.
Well, Krijg de kleren is it's where you can swap your clothes. And it's
that's a very gentle translation, but okay, sure,
right,
go for it. Yeah.
But they got over 6,000 likes on Facebook. You know, they got likes from all kind of well-known trendy Dutch women.
Sorry to be blunt, but what's your point?
Well, my point is that they just go out there and they just do it. And I got a lot of those students. You know, they go out, they do it, and they don't think about a business plan, you know.
But what do they encounter though? I'm also looking for the climate, because as Willemijn is saying, she just sort of described a situation where it's still tough, because it doesn't necessarily immediately show the people who put money in that they can make a profit. So it's a tough climate.
Yeah, it's a tough climate, but you know what is a lot of our students were born when we were already in a crisis. You know, we are all from before the crisis, and we all think, oh my God, it's a big crisis, and how do we survive? But for them, it's just the world they live in.
Right.
And they got a completely different scope on things like people in my age. So they're not really bothered about economics and problems and those kind of things. And of course, there's always this group, you know, who can't keep up, and they got all those problems. But when I look at the people who are really doing interesting things, they just go for it.
Okay, let me see if I can ask, because I have this really nice paper here with all these questions, which is fine. But you know what? We often talk about these things, and it's not about me going through the list and being able to put out good questions. All 4 of you have your own expertise. Could I just go by each and every one of you, where you have a short moment, because I'm sure when you came, you had certain things like, okay, I have to make sure that that comes across. Why just not let's set the stage? And if there's something that you want to say, in short, please, go for it. As in Willemijn, is there something that we should know?
Well, I think my main mission is that people start valuing these social entrepreneurs and these social enterprises. These social enterprises need more consumers. They need a climate in the Netherlands where the government supports, not.
But isn't that a generation thing? Isn't that something that just needs to change slowly over time?
No,
I'm sure we all want to go. But
no, nothing.
We don't
slowly.
have time.
We need more. We need a booster here. We shouldn't be slowly. I think there's enough entrepreneurial spirit here. We need to make sure these entrepreneurs get more chances in this society to create great innovations, and not just for the Netherlands but worldwide. So we just need to boost it, and I think that's really important. I think everyone can play its role in there, whether it's Albert Jan in education, or whether it's somebody in the government that starts creating access to capital, or all kinds of different, how do you call it, different policy roles that can really support this field. And we need more capital in this field, and we need more entrepreneurs. So I just want to boost the field, and that's what I want to bring. So join, everyone join.
Join. Okay, Albert, go for it. 2 minutes left. So
2 minutes left. Well, start small. You know, believe in small things. Believe in small ondernemingen. And when it's small, you know, it will grow and grow and grow and grow. So don't think about the big companies. They have to do it. No, but you know, it's organized at a op buurtniveau. How do you call it? It's
local
community
level.
Miquel.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to what Willemijn was saying about this skepticism. What I say is that if you're an entrepreneur, be transparent, be radically transparent, be creatively transparent, and find innovative ways to tell the story of what you're doing and all the things you're doing to your clients to fight this skepticism, I would say.
Okay, so far we have, it needs to boost, we need to do it locally, and we need to be transparent. Aart.
The world is changing at a speed which is like we cannot even grasp how fast it is changing, and the speed of change is increasing only. And I believe we should use this speed of change and the emerging technologies for the greater good, for changing, for making a positive change. The possibilities to do so has never been so big as they are right now. So it is the true the social entrepreneur should take this opportunity and do something with it. So just one little thing to show you as an example, like the smartphone from now contains more calculating power than like the calculating power of the NASA when they put the first man on the moon. Yeah. So if we start using all these technologies for the greater good or for creating a sustainable economy, like the possibilities are endless. So that's. And
then make sure that phone becomes a fair phone.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, so in one word, sort of in one great sentence to sum it up, we're in a time of change where there's actually a perfect time to embrace all this new social entrepreneuring. Keep it local so you can get a fine start and keep your enthusiasm going so you can mount to bigger things and keep it transparent. Does that about sum it up?
Exactly.
Yeah, and we saw some great social entrepreneurs on the TEDx stage today, so people should watch that at home.
Exactly.
Then I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you very much for your input.
Thank you.
Thank you all for watching and listening, and I wish you all a great day. This was just the top of the iceberg of social entrepreneuring. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.